football ends locally here on Saturday night, but not for the Ravens. They go to New Orleans next week. The Detroit Lions in on Saturday night. Luke Jones and I on the backfields all week long. If there's any breaking news, you'll get it first on the WNST text service. That, of course, brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Dennis drives you home on Thursdays from 3 until 5. We're going to the West Coast right now. Pick up the Major League Baseball lead writer for Bleacher Report. We're going to talk some Orioles baseball and some pennant races, and they have heated up, and certainly as the Orioles have cooled off. He is Zach Reimer, the MLB lead writer at Bleacher Report. You can follow his journey out at BleacherReport.com or on Twitter at Zach Reimer, ZACHRYMER, and we welcome him back from the East Bay. What's going on, Zach? How's life, man? Happy summer to you.
Yeah, we're doing well here. I mean, we're getting towards the end, but it's been a fun season so far, and looking forward for the stretch run.
Well, the stretch run for the Orioles, we're hoping it's nearly as much fun as the middle of the summer was, and hitting lots of home runs and playing the old beer league softball game. The loss of Chris Tillman, I mean, maybe I would have thought at the All-Star break if you would have said, well, what could really derail the Orioles? Well, cold bat by Chris Davis hasn't done it. Some choppy offense in general, still very much in it, but this is probably the worst-case scenario that Chris Tillman's not in this rotation every fifth day for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely not good. I mean, I know you can look at Kevin Gossman and Dylan Bundy. They've come on lately. They're pitching pretty well, but Tillman is kind of the guy who's been the glue that's held that rotation together all season. Not having him around is, especially with the Red Sox and Blue Jays playing as well as they are, that's a potentially big thing. And you know as well as I do, this team is not a perfect unit. They can't win in multiple ways. They need good pitching and they need to hit home runs. So losing an arm like Tillman, that definitely compromises one of those things. So it's going to be rough, or it could be rough. So we'll see what happens.
No, we saw the panic with the Nationals on Monday with Strasburg. We've been playing them all week, and for that organization with the kind of lead they have, they can sell it as precautionary, and I'll buy it. There's nothing precautionary about Tillman going out. I mean, this is red alert to me. These are the games he wants to pitch in, the time of the year when the team needs him. And the replacement, and in a lot of places, maybe they have somebody they can slide in. I mean, the Orioles have more failed starters in their arsenal. I mean, even guys like Gallardo that they're still letting start who haven't been all that good, and guys like Bundy that they didn't want to start who's already in the rotation. Now we're going back to Jimenez, the Wrights and the Wilsons that have been failed guys. That's the hard part, is seeing Ubaldo Jimenez get the ball every fifth day now.
Yeah, and it's the other thing is that none of the guys they have in their rotation right now are really big innings eaters. I mean, these are basically 5 or 6 inning guys. That's going to ask more of the bullpen, which it's a really good bullpen and has been all season, but it's already had to pitch quite a lot of innings. You wonder at what point is that going to catch up to it. So that's kind of like the hidden danger of what's going on with the starting rotation is like right now, more than ever, the Orioles need to eat innings, and it's not really equipped to do that. So,
well, I even think
I said, it's rough.
The back end with O'Day changes dramatically when you lose that guy. And to your point, now you're going to lose innings on the front end and not have him in there 3-4 times a week on the back end in O'Day. We're going to see a different baseball team here the next 2 weeks. And certainly these games in Toronto next week loom large because Toronto and Boston, they have picked now to play their better baseball, and certainly seeing more out of David Price as well.
Yeah, especially with the Red Sox, you can look at how they've been winning games really since the All-Star break. We knew they hit like crazy in the first half, but they really need to get their pitching squared away. That's finally happened in the second half. Their bullpen has been a little rough, but their starting pitching has been really good. Guys going deep into games. They're getting good production out of guys like Clay Buchholz, for crying out loud. Eduardo Rodriguez, before he got hurt, was really good. So that's always been the danger with the Red Sox, is once they got their pitching figured out, they were going to be a good team, and lo and behold, they are. And the Blue Jays, really ever since April, they've been the most balanced team in the division and one of the better teams in baseball. Good offense, good pitching, they have it all. So, like we've been saying, it's a tough time for the Orioles to be at less than full strength.
Well, and the Yankees have been anything but, a mess at this point since the trading deadline. Everyone predicted gloom and doom. They've managed to hang in, and they are going to have first crack at beating the Orioles up the next couple of weekends here. We're going to see them all weekend long. They don't stink the way maybe we thought they'd stink, and them opening up some spots for some younger players, this thing starts to get deodorized a whole lot better if they don't fade down the stretch.
Yeah, it's interesting how they got rid of all those big names and immediately became so much more interesting because they call up guys like Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Tyler Austin. I mean, Gary Sanchez in particular, I mean, I remember for a while there, he was kind of on the cusp of becoming almost a non-prospect, where it just looked like the various talents he has weren't going to amount to anything. But then all of a sudden, really this year, put it all together, and it's really translated into the major league level. Good on him. Judge has been great, too. I don't know if I buy them as a much, much better team. I think this is more kind of like a little flare-up that they're on right now. The fact is, you can't get rid of guys like Aroldis Chapman, Andrew Miller, and be stronger with your starting pitching. And they've had injuries to guys like Eovaldi, too. So what we're seeing right now is definitely a more interesting team. I don't know if it's a drastically better team, but, you know what, I'll take interesting because it feels like the Yankees have been boring, kind of bland for several years.
I like them that way. I remember the exciting Yankees. We didn't like them much.
Well, you know, I can't pick sides here. I kind of like watching exciting baseball, so I'm fine with it.
Well, if you like exciting baseball, the Kansas City Royals have certainly turned the Jets back on here to make the race for the wild card even more interesting. I don't think Seattle or Houston are dead either, and I know Detroit will have something to say about it, but Kansas City has been the flavor of the week for sure.
Absolutely, and to kind of repeat a theme that we've been going with here, it was a matter of them getting their pitching squared away. It was rough for the first 3-4 months of the season, and now we're in August, and they have a 2.32 ERA this month. That's the best in baseball, even better than the Cubs. You know, it's one of those situations that I really like Danny Duffy. I think Danny Duffy is always had terrific talent. We're seeing him put it together. Great for him. Jordan Ventura is another guy, but part of me is also kind of like, yeah, they're really good this month, but can they sustain this for more than just a couple weeks? But, you know, they've made up so much ground in the last couple weeks that even if they do fall back down to earth, they could potentially still sneak in because they have, you know, made such a explosive charge in the last couple of weeks.
Seattle, same thing. I mean, and Houston, I mean, none of these teams are going away. I mean, as we began the week, Seattle was, you know, giving the Orioles and the Blue Jays and the Red Sox the biggest chase.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing with the Royals, in that they just need to get their pitching squared away. It feels kind of weird to be talking about a Mariners team that had a good offense but just needed some pitching, but that's what they were for most of the year. And now you got guys like Felix Hernandez pitching well. James Paxton, when he's able to pitch, is really good. So they're starting to figure things out. They got Edwin Diaz closing games now. He's terrific if you haven't seen him. So, yeah, they're kind of coming together the way that they've needed to, and the results kind of speak for themselves.
He is Zach Reimer, the MLB lead writer for Bleach Report, working out of the Bay Area. You can follow him out on Twitter at Zach Reimer. That's Rymer. He is a bat flip proponent, which I like as well. I tell you what, they were already flipping bats in Chicago, Zach. I spent the weekend out at Wrigley Field with Edward Vedder and the Pearl Jam fellas, and it's all blue and redded up. And, you know, anything less than a parade's going to be unacceptable there. They have certainly built up the anticipation for all this. And I've said this all summer long, and I told everybody in Chicago, you better win game one.
Yeah, I mean, they're just they're a special team. You can look at those 80 wins. That's impressive enough. But I'm looking at their run differential of plus 214, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's like twice as better than the best team in the American League. So, listen, I'm kind of with you. I mean, we knew that this team really came together last year. We knew they decided to go for it, as well they should have, over the winter. And things have come together about as well as you could possibly imagine. This is a team that can pretty much do it all. They can hit, they can field, they've got great starting pitching. They've got Chapman in that bullpen now, shut it down. So you got a great manager running things behind the scenes. So, you know, but the weird thing is that because this is a team that is just now starting to come together after a pretty lengthy rebuilding process, it will be a disappointment if they don't win it this year, but it won't be some like great missed opportunity because this is a team that's going to be sticking around for a while. So if you're a Cubs fan, man, just sit back and enjoy it because you've been waiting for a team like this, and you deserve it.
What's happened to the Giants? I mean, I know you're out in the Bay Area. No one cares about Oakland. We got out there a week and a half ago and saw all my Oriole fans out there in jackets in the cool weather in San Francisco during the day. The Giants have begun this fade, and, they were looking like the best team for a while. I thought they would be the team giving the Cubs a run for their money all summer long. They might be doing it from the wild card spot at this point.
Yeah, for the first, basically through the All-Star break, they were doing that even year magic thing where it's like, hey, this is fun. They're winning a lot of games. Kind of hard to explain it, though. I mean, they're not great at any one particular thing. And the danger there, kind of like in 2014, they got to a great start and then kind of backed into the playoffs the rest of the way. That's basically what's going on now is we're seeing kind of like the regression to the mean on every front. We know that the top of their starting rotation is fine. But offense, really hit or miss. Bullpen, really hit or miss. So what we're seeing right now is just things basically kind of being settling to where they should be with this team. So, well, I'll tell you, they are freaking out about it here in the Bay Area. But I have to believe there is enough talent on this team to get into the playoffs. And once the Giants are in the playoffs, I mean, I think we know at this point not to write them off. So I say just get to October and worry about it then.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals, it's almost like they haven't been in a league this year, right? We don't hear anything about them. It's all Cubs. They've been running from behind the whole way. They're so far behind the Cubs, nobody pays any attention. They look like they're going to sneak in as a wild card, and I would not bet against them either. They certainly have some pedigree, and they were the runaway team last year. This year they're playing the trail horse. They've been playing their best baseball lately, too.
Yeah, and that was kind of one of these things. It's like a matter of time. We use run differential to kind of like look at the true talent level of teams, and they've always had a good run differential all year, largely because they've hit really well. When you do that, you're generally going to run into some wins sooner or later. That's basically what has happened. The big question, oddly enough, after what they did last year is just how much are they going to get out of their pitching? They basically have Carlos Martinez pitching well all year, but none of their other starters have really been that great. And out of Seung-Hwan Oh, their bullpen has been hit or miss as well. So they're definitely going to hit their way into the postseason. But once you get into October, run prevention becomes so much more valuable, and they're not really as well set up to handle that as they have been in years past. So,
yeah, I would have been the guy all hot and bothered to sign Mike Leake in the offseason. They did, and we see how that's worked out. Not so good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Mike Leake. I think he's generally a good pitcher, but he's a guy who pitches to contact, and on any given year, that can lead to trouble, and this looks like any given year.
He is Zach Reimer. You can follow him out on Bleacher Report. He is the MLB lead writer there. He's also on Twitter at Zach Reimer. That's Rymer. Zach, always great to visit with you, man. Keep the faith out there in the East Bay. We'll get out there soon, man.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Zach Reimer from Bleacher Report. You can find me in the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. Download podcasts. Listen when you want, where you want, how you want. It is the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault at WNST.net. Our morning newspaper ships out each and every morning at 7 a.m. directly to your email inbox. Headlines, box scores, standings, news, all the information there that we do here at WNST.net in our morning newspaper and packaged together and all brought to you by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. Still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life. Last but never least, breaking news happens first on the WNST text service. You know there's going to be some breaking news happening this weekend with the Ravens cutting down rosters as well as the Orioles up in New York and getting ready for the 40-man rosters next week. We're headed off to Germany to meet the man who saved my wife's life twice next week. We'll be broadcasting here and be checking us out on our Facebook, our Twitter, our Snapchat, Instagram, all the places that you surf socially. WNST lives, including Facebook Live and our WNSTV channel on YouTube, where we stream all of our audio live on video. It's the internet. It's the new thing. I'm Nasty at WNST.net 24 hours a day for all praise and criticism that comes my way. I am Nestor. This is WNST.net AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.